Welcome to the Minnesota Migrant Education Program Making Connections Starting Out training. This training will give you basic information about the Minnesota Migrant Education Program. It is not the full Making Connections training. If you would like the full Making Connections training, please contact Chris Young at Tri-Valley Opportunity Council.
For information about the Minnesota Migrant Education Program, check out our website, www.tvoc.org, our Facebook page, or you can contact us on our Minnesota Migrant Education Program hotline, 1-800-890-4853. The Migrant Education Program is 100% federally funded through Title I Part C Education of Migratory Children. The program ensures migratory children have access to all federal, state, and locally supported services on the same basis as other children. The funding is intended to supplement existing programs. It cannot supplant. Migratory children are categorically eligible to receive free school meals based on their eligibility in the Migrant Education Program. The purpose of the Migrant Education Program is to address unique educational needs of migratory children, assist in overcoming educational disruption, ensure students receive full and appropriate opportunities to meet the same challenging content standards, and not to penalize the students for the different disparities among the state's educational systems. Our migratory students travel from state to state and school to school, and there are so many differences in each educational system. You could be the link that they need. You can advocate for them and make sure that they are getting what they need to be successful. While talking to children and families, listen for indicators to determine if they may be eligible for the Migrant Education Program, MEP. Some of the indicators include if a parent or guardian has worked in agricultural work due to economic necessity. Examples of this type of work include seasonal work like picking rock, packing corn or peas, or temporary work like milking cows, processing eggs, and caring for pigs. The child or youth, and remember, they can be age 0 through 21, has moved across district lines within 3 years and has not graduated. They don't have to move with the parent or guardian. They could come before the parent or they could come after. The youth could be the agricultural worker or could be the parent or guardian. If you hear of any of these indicators, please fill out a recruitment request in order for a regional recruiter from Tri-Valley Opportunity Council to determine if the child or youth is eligible for the Migrant Education Program.
Minnesota has over 100 school districts with at least one migratory student identified within the past 36 months. The Minnesota Department of Education typically funds Title I Part C summer migrant education programs in areas of high concentration of migratory students. Tri-Valley Opportunity Council funds migrant seasonal Head Start programs and contracts with districts to certify migrant liaisons in order for them to determine eligibility for the migrant education program.
Migratory students move from many other states to Minnesota, but the majority of our students move here from southern Texas. Migratory families come to Minnesota due to economic need. They work in agricultural labor areas that may not be filled by local labor forces. Minnesota farmers and agribusinesses recruit migratory families from other states for their skills and abilities to meet the Minnesota labor needs. Many of our migratory families go to concentrated agricultural labor market areas such as the Red River Valley, Minnesota River Valley, and the southern area of the state. However, migratory families may move to any location in Minnesota to find work. Qualifying work includes seasonal and temporary jobs that help produce, harvest, and process crops, livestock, poultry, fish, shellfish, dairy, and other agricultural products. In Minnesota, the top qualifying activity is packing, cleaning, and hauling peas. Migratory families also come to Minnesota to work with corn, picking rocks, working with potatoes, harvesting sugar beets, packing soybeans, milking and caring for dairy cows, caring for poultry, packing radishes,
caring for pigs and hogs, among many other activities. For a full list of qualifying activities, please go to the Tri-Valley Opportunity Council webpage.
Qualifying arrival dates are the dates that students have made a qualifying move to our state and have been identified. In May, June, July, and August, we have the majority of our qualifying arrival dates. In October and November, many of our families leave the state, but as you can see, throughout every single month of the year, there are qualifying arrival dates within the state of Minnesota. So students are moving around from district to district or state to state every month of the year. Some of the challenges that our migratory families face include physical hazards, isolation, family separation, poverty, limited formal education of parents, and language and cultural barriers. The migratory student may have frequent changes in residency, chronic absenteeism, move before the school year ends, large gaps in missed instructional and assessment time, deficiency of credits towards graduation, lack of access to resources, language and cultural barriers, difficulty performing at grade level, and emotional challenges adapting to new environments. Migratory students may also be resilient, talented, multilingual, and may be able to share numerous experiences about things others in your school may not be familiar with. Work with your student to discover his or her strengths and help them to become part of the community. Migratory out-of-school youth, or OSY, who work in agriculture or fishing rather than attending school are at an even greater risk of failing to obtain the level of education required to succeed in life. OSY may travel with families, an older relative, or a crew chief. They may travel in small groups and sometimes alone. They face all the obstacles to education encountered by other migratory students, plus additional challenges. They are seldom connected with the community in which they live, and as a result, the MEP may be their only link to education, support, and the medical services that they need. The Migrant Education Program can serve children and youth not older than 21 years of age who have not graduated or obtained a GED.
When you have a chance, please take a look at these resources to gain more insight into the lives of our migratory families.
In Minnesota, there are 3 agencies that support migratory students: the Minnesota Department of Education, MDE, the Midwest Migrant Educational Resource Center, MERC, and Tri-Valley Opportunity Council, TVOC. Now let's take a closer look at what these agencies do. The Minnesota Department of Education provides technical assistance and resources to ensure effective administration of migrant education programs which adhere to federal requirements.
The Minnesota Department of Education has added the Migrant Liaison Contact list to MDE-org. Does your district have a designated migrant liaison listed at MDE-org? If not, please contact your identified official with authority, or otherwise known as Iowa, to make sure to get a person listed. That person will be our go-to person for any questions that we have or any information that we have about migratory students. This is a very important role.
Students that have been determined eligible for the Minnesota Migrant Education Program, MEP, should not be charged for meals at school. The school may need to refund the family or clear their account if they were charged for meals after the COE was approved if they are still within the 3 years of eligibility. The School Food Authority must keep documentation of the effective date, migratory child enrollment into MEP. This date is provided by Tri-Valley Opportunity Council. The Migrant Liaison facilitates the collection of information that must be reported to MDE through TVOC. We will look in MDE-org for the person that is listed as the Migrant Liaison for the school district, and that person will be our point of contact.
Possible duties of the Migrant Liaison include ensuring that migratory students are identified by sending a recruitment request to Tri-Valley Opportunity Council, or to determine eligibility using a Certificate of Eligibility, a COE, but only if trained and certified. Advocate for migratory students and families and advocate for proper placement of the migratory student. Assist in providing grades and transcripts to Tri-Valley Opportunity Council. Provide enrollment and withdrawal dates to Tri-Valley Opportunity Council. Provide move notices in Migrant Student Information Exchange, which is also called MSIX, as necessary. Ensure that migratory students are enrolled in school and have access to and receive services which they are eligible for, such as free categorically eligible meals, Head Start and Early Head Start, and McKinney-Vento Act if qualified. Migrant liaison contact information should be updated each year in MDE-org. The migrant liaison will be the point of contact for Tri-Valley Opportunity Council unless otherwise stated.
The Minnesota Department of Education has added a secure migrant identified student report. This report is available for districts to view students that have been determined eligible for the migrant education program within the past 3 years. Remember, there could still be students in your district that are eligible for MEP but are not on the report because they had never been identified. Your help in identifying possible eligible families is crucial. Districts and charter schools should use this information to ensure continuity of services for migratory students who often have interrupted education. Information for the secure report is pulled from MIS 2000, which is Minnesota's migrant database. MERC, the Midwest Migrant Education Resource Center, is a lending library for any staff working with a migratory student. The process is simple. You choose the materials and resources you want. They send them to you to use for free. For more information, contact Rhonda Isaacs. Liddy Guzman is the Secondary Director for the Minnesota Migrant Education Program. She works closely with the Texas Migrant Interstate Program, TMIP. TMIP is available to use as a resource when working with students moving to or from Texas. For questions about secondary migratory students, credit recovery, student placement, or out-of-state assessments, contact Liddy.
The Minnesota Department of Education contracts with Tri-Valley Opportunity Council Migrant Education Services to identify and recruit all eligible migratory students.
Tri-Valley Opportunity Council Migrant Education Services is contracted by the Minnesota Department of Education. We provide training and access to MIS 2000, which is the state's migrant database, MSIX, which is the national migrant database, MSIF, which is the Migratory Student Information Form, and the Summer Program Services Report, which is the SPSR. We collect all of the minimum data elements for every migratory student in the state of Minnesota, which is federally required. We manage the data for the Migrant Education Program, and we also provide professional development and training and identify and recruit all eligible migratory students in the state of Minnesota.
Hi everyone. For more information about Tri-Valley Opportunity Council, visit tvoc.org. Go to Services, Migrant Education Program. There you will find our contact information for the Migrant Education Services Department. You will find information about Minnesota Department of Education Migrant Education Program. You can take note of the Migrant Liaison versus Certified Migrant Liaison form. One very important part of our web page is the recruitment request. If you would like a recruiter to determine if you or someone you know is eligible for the Migrant Education Program, or if you would like recruitment in your area, you can click here or here, and it'll take you to the recruitment request. Once a request is filled out, our recruiters get that information and will contact you. They will either then set up an interview to determine eligibility or determine if there are needs in your area in order to recruit. We also have a resource request for families that are looking for resources. We cannot promise that we will find the resources, but we will do our best to try. There's a training request. If you or your staff would like additional training on the migrant education program, fill out this training request, and we will try to do the best we can to accommodate you and your staff. We have our Making Connections workshop information always listed on our webpage. We try to offer this workshop once per quarter. And lately it's been virtual only, but we may go back to in person at one point. We have our certification information. If you or someone you know would like to become certified to be a certified migrant liaison, you can fill out the information and take a look at this training request. There's MSIX information. This is the National Migrant Student Information Exchange database. You or someone at your school can have access to this database, especially if they are involved in the proper placement of migratory students. For an application, you can click here. If you have questions, you can contact Linda Fournier. There's reporting information, MERX information. That's the Midwest Migrant Educational Resource Center. And again, they have a ton of free resources for educators who serve migrant students ages 3 to 21 in Minnesota. There are also helpful resources that are available. One resource that I would like you to take note of is the Migrant Education Program Checklist for school districts. This form has a lot of information that could be very valuable for your migrant liaison to know and understand. It also has contact information and a QR code that is the resource request. The recruitment request. We have the Parent Employment Survey, which could be helpful for your registration paperwork if you would like to add indicators on if a family may be eligible for additional educational services through the migrant education program. And then we have our posters in English and Spanish and our brochures. We do also have contact information listed on the bottom of our webpage. The Migrant Education Services program is located in the Lee Center Administrative Office. At the end of this training, if you could also provide workshop, we are always trying to improve our training and make it more efficient and better for you. So please let us know what we can do or what we have done well. Thank you for your time today. If you would like a copy of the Migrant Education Program Checklist, you can download it from the Migrant Education Program webpage through Tri-Valley Opportunity Council. Don't forget that the recruitment request is also available on our webpage if you need one of our recruiters to determine if a student is eligible for the Migrant Education Program. Does your district have an indicator in your enrollment registration process? A possible indicator that you could use to determine if a family may be migrant is the following. In the past 3 years, have you or anyone in your family moved across district lines so that you or a family member could actively engage in agricultural work? If a family answers yes to this question or indicates that they may be migrant, then what do you do? If you do not have a certified migrant liaison at your school, you could go to the Tri-Valley Opportunity Council webpage, go to Migrant Education Services, and then click on the recruitment request. We will then have a certified migrant liaison or regional recruiter follow up with you to determine the next steps. If your district would like a family survey to include in registration materials, please contact Tri-Valley Opportunity Council Migrant Education Services Department. The family survey is available in English, Spanish, and Somali. If a family answers yes or not sure on the survey, if there is a certified migrant liaison in your district, he or she can follow up with the family.
If there is not a certified migrant liaison, fill out a recruitment request and a regional recruiter will follow up.
The District Migrant Liaison should work with Tri-Valley Opportunity Council data coordinators to ensure that all minimum data elements are collected for each migratory student.
The Office of Migrant Education requires that each state collect data for each migratory student in the state. These are called minimum data elements and they are relevant to the MSIX child count. The Minnesota Department of Education contracts with Tri-Valley Opportunity Council to collect and enter this information for all migratory students in the state. MIS 2000 is our migrant data management tool for the state of Minnesota. This system has been configured specifically to the needs of our migratory students. MIS 2000 allows you to store data from COEs, education records, health information, as well as additional information collected by our state. We can run unlimited reports, create our own reports, print copies of COEs, run eligible student counts, as well as federal performance reports, and much more. Its data collection and reporting capabilities make it a powerful software. When Minnesota collects information for each migratory student, it gets entered into MIS 2000 and then uploaded nightly into MSIX. MSIX is the Migrant Student Information Exchange. It is a national database of migrant student information and it allows states to share educational and health information. It communicates with existing migrant student information systems that states currently use to manage their migrant data to fulfill its mission to ensure the appropriate enrollment, placement, and accrual of credits for migratory children nationwide. It receives nightly uploads of the data that's stored in MIS 2000 for the state of Minnesota.
District Migrant Liaisons, counselors, and administrators have often found MSIX to be a very useful tool. If you would like an application for MSIX, please contact Linda Fournier or go to our website at tvoc.org, Migrant Education Services, and download one. I am now going to turn it over to Linda to tell you more about MSIX.
Hi, and welcome to the Migrant Student Information Exchange training. My name is Linda Fournier, and I am the Migrant Education Service Data Systems Specialist with Tri-Valley Opportunity Council and contracted by the Minnesota Department of Education. Thank you for joining this training today. Self-managed passwords on MSIX. If you forgot your password on the login screen, click Forgot Your Password. MSIX will use challenge questions to allow you to reset your password without contacting your MSIX data administrator. Ensure your MSIX account is active and confirm you can log into MSIX. If your MSIX account becomes disabled, then your state administrator will need to reset the password for you. If your MSIX account becomes deactivated, you will need to complete a new MSIX application and rules of behavior. Tri-Valley Opportunity Council is responsible for collecting and entering all minimum data elements for each migratory student that is in the state of Minnesota. Minimum data elements are relevant to the MSIX child count. Missing minimum data elements may cause a child to be excluded from the MSIX child count. It is extremely important to enter COEs in with correct information and submit accurate data on reports to TVOC. Common mistakes are birth dates, spelling of names, and grade level. How to do a student search in MSIX. The more information you enter in the student record search, the more narrow your results will be. Ensure that your search contains at least one of the following elements: first name, last name, or date of birth. I recommend you use all three of the elements for best results. Once you get your results, click on the student's name and it will take you to the following page, which is the student's overview page. Now you are in the student overview. The student overview has information that was collected from the Certificate of Eligibility in MIS 2000. It has qualifying move information. It also has enrollments. It will show school enrolled in, enrollment dates, withdrawal dates, grade level, whether they have a medical alert or not, if the school has immunization records on file, if flagged as EL, priority for service, and or IEP. It also has assessments, the assessment type, date of the assessment, the content, etc. It also contains course history. It has the course title, academic year, subject area, final grade, credits granted, grade to date, and or clock hours. Next, you will want to click on the historical view. Now you are in the historical view. If a student has student records in MSIX for more than one state, it will be in this historical view page. If you click on the arrows for nested details, it also provides qualifying moves, qualifying arrival dates, history of moves, qualifying move from and to. From the first dropdown in the previous page, you will also have additional dropdowns that have more detailed information per state. Next, we have Move Notice. MSIX provides a feature to alert another area of a student's relocation in the case of their arrival or departure. In addition to the MSIX notice, you can include comments regarding the student who is relocating. To ensure the privacy of our students, please do not provide any PII in the comments box. Sending notices in a timely manner will allow the receiving state to quickly identify and enroll students for services. A receiving state can notify the sending state who might not be aware that the family has left their area and can withdraw the student and submit updated information of the student to MSIX in a timely manner. So simply click on the Move Notice. Select that this student is moving from our area to your area and select the state, district, and school to ensure the move notification is sent to the appropriate state data administrator. Then you just click Submit. Next, we have the multi-move notice enhancement. On November of 2020, a dashboard report of our state's achievement data and the capability to send a move notice for multiple children at once through a multi-move notice were released to MSIX. These enhancements came as a result of user feedback and suggestions. If a family of 5 children is moving, you can now do a multi-move notice at once. To create a multi-move notice, navigate to My List on the left-hand side of your navigation bar. You may use the default list or create a new list specific to the multi-move notification function. To create a new list, click Create New List. To create a new list, the Create New List window will pop up. Enter a name for the new list, then click Submit. Your new created list will appear in the My Lists page. Now we want to start by adding students to the list to initiate a multi-move notification. Click on Search. To search for a student, ensure that search contains at least one of the following elements: first name, last name, date of birth, or ID. From the results, select the Minnesota student's record. Once you're in the student's record, click on Add to List. Next, you will want to select the list to which you would like to add this student record. Then click Submit. Now you will want to navigate to the search to search for the second student to add to the list. In the results, you will want to select the Minnesota student's record. In the student record of this student, you will want to click on Add to List. Now here again, as before, we want to select the appropriate list to which you would like to add this student record to, then click Submit. And remember, ensure all the students you wish to include on the move notice are all on the same list on the My Lists page. Next, you will want to navigate to the My Lists page. Click on the drop-down at the right of the list that includes the students you wish to include on the multi-move notice, so you can view each row within those lists. Click the checkbox to the left of each row to select the student records you wish to include on the multi-move notice. You can also use the Select All link above the student names to include every record on the list. Click the link for Send Multi-Move Notice above the list column headings and to the left of the Edit/Delete List button. Next, you will see the Move Notice pop-up. In the Move Notice pop-up window, select either these students are moving from our area to your area, or your students have recently moved to our area from the drop-down list. In the comments area of the pop-up window, enter your comments to the recipient of the multi-move notice. Under Recipient, select a state, district, and school to ensure the multi-move notice is sent to the appropriate MSIX state administrator. Then click Submit. Next, we have the data request feature. The submission process of the data request is similar to the move notice. Through frequent exchange of data requests, users can build a network of peers for migratory children who are traveling. Timely response to a data request are critical to a student's success. Data requests must be resolved by state administrators within 4 days of receiving the request. Why would you want to do a data request? If you notice that a student is flagged for an IEP, but they shouldn't be, or vice versa, or any other information that may need to be corrected or updated, you would want to do a data request. To initiate a data request, please simply click on the data request at the top of the page. In the recipient, select the state, district, and school to ensure the request for the data is sent to the appropriate state data administrator. Then click Submit. Who to contact. If you encounter any issues with a self-managed password, multi-move notice enhancement, and/or for any training or technical support, please contact me at any time. I will be happy to assist you. If you would like an MSIX account but do not have one, please contact me for an MSIX application. Otherwise, you can go to tvoc.org under the Migrant Education Program and print out an application. Thank you for your time, and thank you for all you do.
If you would like to fill out a recruitment request or request more training for you or your staff, or maybe you want some new resources for your staff, please contact Tri-Valley Opportunity Council. Our webpage is listed below. Through this training, we hope that you have learned more about the unique educational needs of migratory children. Together, we are hoping to be able to overcome educational disruption, cultural and language barriers, social isolation, various health-related problems, and other factors that inhibit the ability of such children to succeed in school. Thank you so much for joining us.